People actually think Mondays are harmless simply because they have survived so many of them. But the first Monday of a new year is dangerously different. It watches you instead of the other way around. No fireworks, no countdown, no cheap, loud applause. Just a quiet, heavy morning where the fake noise is gone and the brutal truth finally has the room to speak. This is the exact moment when your empty intentions stop being cute ideas and start being completely exposed for what they really are. Nothing but habits wearing brand new, cheap labels. Everyone confidently promises change when the calendar flips, but a piece of paper absolutely does not change you. Only terrifying, suffocating pressure does. And this morning carries a massive, invisible pressure, heavily disguised as a boring routine. Same alarm, same room, same pathetic responsibilities. But now, there is absolutely nowhere left to hide behind a celebration or a plan. Listening to the silence today isn't about motivation. It is about a terrifying, raw honesty that makes you squirm. It forces you to remember exactly how many times you have stood at this precise point, confidently choosing comfort instead of direction. The real danger of this moment is how normal it feels. That is how it traps you. That is how it gets ignored. Big, dramatic turning points rarely feel like a movie when they arrive. They feel ordinary enough to easily dismiss, easy enough to waste. And once you walk blindly past a moment like this, without listening, it doesn't chase you. It just lets you keep walking exactly as you are, quietly, heavily locking you into another predictable cycle, another pattern, another year entirely shaped by what you chose not to hear when everything was finally quiet enough to matter. Silence is deeply uncomfortable because it absolutely does not distract you. It exposes you. When the noise drops away, what is left isn't inspiration. It is the heavy, cold truth. Silence doesn't motivate. It brutally interrogates. It asks you the terrifying questions you have been actively dodging with business and cheap plans. People are terrified of silence because it does not negotiate. It doesn't soften the blow. In silence, empty intentions stop being ideas and start being measurable actions. You cannot hide behind what you meant to do or what you are going to start doing. Silence looks directly at what you actually did when no one was forcing you to care. That is why it feels so heavy. That is why people desperately rush to fill it with sound, with screens, with movement. In loud, chaotic moments, everyone sounds disciplined. Everyone sounds ambitious. Everyone sounds convinced that they are changing. Silence violently strips that away. It shows whether your intention had actual weight, or if it was just a fragile preference, spoken because it made you feel aligned, without requiring a single ounce of action. Silence exposes patterns, not the dramatic ones, the boring ones, the habits you repeat without thinking, the choices you default to when nobody is watching. Silence watches those quiet, pathetic moments incredibly closely, because those tiny moments tell the brutal truth much faster than any grand, fake speech ever could. You don't truly hear silence unless you aggressively slow down. And slowing down is terrifying for the weak, because it permanently removes urgency as a cheap excuse. When the world is completely quiet, you can no longer blame the heavy pressure. You absolutely cannot blame the chaos or the bad timing. What remains in the dark is just you, your cold discipline, your brutal honesty, and your willingness to do the heavy, exhausting work when absolutely nothing is exciting about it. Silence is the exact, terrifying place where self-deception becomes unbearably uncomfortable. You can easily lie to the sleepwalking masses loudly. You can even successfully lie to yourself when there is enough fake noise to drown out the doubt. But silence absolutely does not allow that pathetic luxury. It brings a cold, sharp, terrifying clarity. And clarity is a massive threat because it violently demands a response. Once you finally see your own pathetic patterns clearly, pretending you didn't becomes impossibly hard. The weak masses often cry that they need motivation. What they actually need is the punishment of silence. Cheap motivation constantly comes and goes, but silence heavily stays long enough to reveal if you are actually serious. It absolutely does not hype you up with fake, loud energy. It just stands there in the pitch-black void, unblinking, waiting to see exactly what you do next. Silence violently exposes whether your grand intentions are actually aligned with your real behavior. You can confidently say you value elite growth, heavy discipline, and massive change. But silence looks directly at how you actually spend your dark mornings, how you respond when the effort feels completely dull and the progress is entirely invisible. The weak masses are completely addicted to a toxic drug called hope. They sit around in the mud, desperately hoping the universe will hand them a golden ticket. But hope is absolutely passive. It is the ultimate excuse to do nothing while pretending you are waiting for a magical sign. The universe absolutely does not reward waiting. It rewards cold, calculated, relentless action. While the sleepwalkers are busy wishing for a better tomorrow, the chosen one is violently building it in the dark. You do not ask for permission, and you certainly don't wait for a pathetic calendar to tell you when to move. Real power is terrifying because it requires you to completely abandon the safety net. It requires you to step out of the comfortable, warm illusion that someone else is coming to save you. Listen to the heavy silence. Nobody is coming. You are completely alone on this pitch-black stage. The first Monday isn't just a date. It is a heavy iron gate, violently swinging open. You can either stay inside your familiar, suffocating prison, or you can step out into the freezing, chaotic wild. The chosen one thrives in the wild, because that is exactly where the fake rules are finally broken. Growth is absolutely not a beautiful, painless movie montage. It is a brutal, exhausting war against your own laziness. It means looking directly at your excuses and violently crushing them under your polished shoe. It means choosing the heavy, cold burden of discipline over the cheap, easy comfort of distraction. When you finally embrace this chilling reality, you permanently separate yourself from the noisy crowd. They will look at your unshakable focus and call you crazy. They will aggressively call you obsessed. Let them. Their pathetic opinions are just more meaningless noise bouncing off your titanium armor. You absolutely do not ever negotiate with your own weakness. You lock your jaw, you firmly close your mouth, and you let your ruthless actions scream in the dark. The first Monday has officially arrived. The ultimate, unblinking test is here. Will you break, or will you break the system? From this exact moment forward, you are completely, undeniably untouchable. You are the chosen one, and you have permanently silenced the excuses. If you have successfully locked the gate on your pathetic habits and stepped into the quiet truth, drop the word "rule" below and hit subscribe. The fake noise is officially over. Now, rule.